What is up, Jags fans? I know y'all are as excited as me on this win streak that we're on. So I'm just pumped. I mean, just get it in your skulls now that we are pumped for tonight's show. We are breaking down the film from the Steelers game. I may have a little bit of Ezra Cleveland film, just a little bit. And we're going to talk all other things, Jags and Jaguars run and all of that other stuff. But before we do, you guys know the drill. Like, you always got to pump the social media. Twitter, Instagram. I've been better about Instagram, right? I got some flack about me not posting on Instagram very much, but I've been better. So if you follow the Instagram, you will know that I have been better. Also, subscribe to the YouTube channel while we're here. It helps to have subscriptions and all those other things. If you hit the notification bell, you'll get a notification anytime that we go live. I feel like I'm a broken record because I say this every single time. And I got to say, for anyone that's watching this for the second time, right, I did a show Friday night, and I was a little discombobulated, right, a little disorganized with my film, and things weren't really cut correctly. And I was like, this show, I was not feeling that show. And I was thinking about deleting it, and I was like, I'll just leave it up. I don't care. It ends up being one of the most watched shows. Like, how on earth is the worst show ever? If you're a fan of the show and you haven't watched it yet, go back and watch the disaster that was the Friday night show. Absolute disaster. I'm not going to take all the blame myself. I'll take most of the blame, but not all of the blame. We're about to get into some film for the Steelers game. No costume for Halloween. That's really on me. That's really on me. I'm not gonna lie. To be fair, I ended I did a bunch of film breakdowns like all day today, and like I had like an hour, and I decided that this new game just came out, the finals playtest. I've been playing that with my buddy Tyler, so that's what I've been doing, right? But whatever. This is a fan show, so get in the comments and let me know what you think about all things Jags. If you are one of those gamer type people, my Twitch is in the channel description or the video description. You can follow my Twitch there. I'm on there a lot of nights, so you can check that out. The first one in the chat is Brenneman, and Brenneman says, Jason-san, 100 miles per hour is the first channel member in the chat. And we talked about why channel members are important on the Friday show. I'm not your typical YouTuber. I don't just pop out 10-minute videos, 8-minute videos of me just like talking. We do long shows, long-form conversations. I'll never be the 10-minute YouTuber. I just never will be. So, it's easier to get subscriptions if you are that type of YouTuber. I'll never be that. So the channel members mean a lot to me. So 100 miles per hour. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. Rico says, yo. Montana says first. Not quite. Coach Jason. Yeah, you can call me that. Robert Ashford says heel. Yeah. You better check that out. You better check that autocorrect there, Robert. Chris Watford says, somebody bet you. Bet you what? Mark Moon says, Duval. Watford says, break it down. BT, channel member BT, says, the GM Jason called the O-line trade. I did call that. If you, the Tuesday show last week, everybody was talking about trading for Montez Sweat and Chase Young. And I said, I'm good on defense. Like, I'm fine on defense. I need help on offense. I need offensive line help. And I like Shatley and I like Fortner, but they're your weak links right now on this football team. And they're good. I mean, that's a good problem to have. If Shatley and Fortner are your weak links, that's a good position to be in. So bringing in Ezra Cleveland, I think obviously Cleveland will start at left guard, but someone's going to get dinged up at some point on the offensive line. So now you have the ability to have Walker coming in off the bench, Shatley coming off the bench. I don't think it's insane, and hear me out. Like I don't want to like jinx anything. I don't think it's insane to have Shatley playing some center, because Fortner is kind of the weak link right now on the line. But listen, he's young. I get it, but I could see it. I wish I had a costume. My bad. I need some Ezra Cleveland hype, says Crossbones. I got some film loaded up. I watched one single game. So this is my plan. And then I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to show film. My plan is to do an Ezra Cleveland video later in the week. Probably Friday, because hear me out. there's no game to preview on Friday. So why not do a Ezra Cleveland breakdown on Friday, right? You guys following my logic there? So I think that's what I'm going to do. I did, however, watch the entire Vikings-Chiefs game because he only played in 6 games this year, and PFF graded him out. The highest graded of the season was against that Chiefs game. So in all honesty, the one game I watched was his PFF highest graded game. And half of you hate PFF, so that shouldn't matter. So let's take a look at Ezra Cleveland here. So he's 25. Okay, I like that. 6'6", 312. So for those of you that don't know or don't remember, 6'6", 312, that's like tackle size. So that's a big boy. That's a big boy play on the interior. I like it. He went to Boise State, drafted in 2020, that Urban Meyer draft that we so love so much. Second round, 58th pick. So he was drafted higher than Walker Little. Not that it matters, but, it's just something to consider. His overall grade in 2023 is a 73.8, which is pretty good for a guard. 72.3 pass blocking, 72.8, and as you can see, he has taken almost all of his snaps at left guard at 372. Okay, so again, and it says 1 sack allowed. I don't really get into because I've seen, you guys know me, I like PFF. I've seen this number of sacks allowed be wrong before, especially with Jaguars. So is it coincidence that the 1 sack he allowed was in the Chiefs game? Maybe, but I definitely have that loaded up here. So let's take a look at what we have here. And again, I just have I clipped a bunch of plays. I'll probably only show a couple of them. Here's one of him handling Derek Nandi one-on-one. And you're going to see him here at left guard. And the things I look for in an offensive lineman, and I understand that this is an oversimplification. Like, I get that. But what I look for is a nasty offensive lineman, a strong offensive lineman, an offensive lineman with good feet, and an offensive lineman that can get to the second level. And what I mean by second level is can get to the linebackers. Okay? So those are really the 4 things I look for, probably in that order. Being nasty, number 1. You have to be nasty to play the offensive line. So here you're going to see Nandi's lined up head up. This doesn't happen very often. Most defenses run what's called an underfront, and an underfront just basically means that your D tackle is lined up on the inside shoulder of the strong side guard. Or the outside shoulder of the strong side guard, and an underfront, inside shoulder, and an overfront. So you rarely see a head up alignment here. So here you're going to see him lined up head up, and I think he handles this bull rush pretty well. I mean, guards aren't necessarily known for handling bull rushes, and he does kind of allow the pocket to collapse a bit, but that's pretty good there. I mean, not a great throw by Cousins, but that's pretty good there for a guard. That's pretty good. Look at his right hand. His right hand punches pretty effectively here. Where are we at? Look at his right hand. I mean, that's a good punch. Gets a strong D tackle. Derek Nandi's a big guy. Gets him off balance. I mean, that's pretty good. Here you're going to see Mike Dana with another bull rush. Again, I clipped these because he had this head-up alignment. You don't see this head-up alignment a lot. But here you're going to see it. Another bull rush. And you have to be able to do this as a guard. And it's something that our guards have not done a great job of. He's going to handle this bull rush pretty well right here. I mean, that's really well. I mean, the Vikings offense is what it is, but this is pretty good here. You want to just keep punching. You want to keep one thing that you want to look for in an offensive lineman is you want to keep their center of gravity. You want to keep their balance in the center. You don't want to get what's called overextended, because if you get overextended, then you lose your leverage, and then the defensive lineman can just go around you with speed or a move or a stunt. And here you're going to see he doesn't lose balance, and again, for a guy his size, that's pretty good. I like that right there. And again, I have not evaluated every game. I only watched the offensive snaps from this Chiefs game. Okay? Here's a pass set. Again, this is going to be on the same play, Mike Dana. Same player, Mike Dana, sorry. Here you're going to see he's not have someone head up. Okay, so here you're in more of a traditional underfront, right? You have your nose tackle shaded. I mean, I don't know what they're calling the strength, so it's hard for me to call the front. there you have a shaded nose tackle here, which you can see he's looking at as potentially the double team, but he's going to actually end up blocking Dana over here. So again, high IQ player on this play anyways. Takes a look over there. He points at him. He's like, I'm blocking him. Look at him. He knows he's going there. Watch. Gets him there. I mean, he knew that he was coming to his gap, and that's a good job. Again, in a pass set, this is good. He keeps his balance. Active hands, active feet. That's all you can ask for. In that situation. All right, here's him getting to the second level, like I talked about. A good guard, can pull or can get to the second level. Like, you want to see them do one or the other. So here you're going to see him get to the second level. I think he's just going to pass off the tackle here. I mean, that's good right there. I mean, I like it. I always like to see how they do in QB sneak situations, because QB sneak situations are all about leverage. And here you're going to see him, like, he's got to just get low right here. Not much to evaluate, but I just think it's noteworthy to take a look. They pick up the first down, so I guess it was good enough. Not quite the tush push, but does his job there. We'll save this play. All right, here's the second to last play I'm going to show. And again, I have a bunch of plays. Look at this. I've only showed like 4. I have a bunch of plays queued up. I'm going to save them for Friday. And again, this is just from the Chiefs game. Here's him actually getting beat, because we want to be honest with ourselves. We want to be fair. He wasn't amazing all the time. And this is Chris Jones, right? So here you're going to see him get kind of ragdolled here by Chris Jones. But again, I'm not holding it against him. Chris Jones is a great player. But we have to be honest with ourselves. Like, you're not great 100% of the time. So like I said, he gave up 1 sack, and I guess this is the 1 sack he gave up. But again, no one's perfect. I mean, watch my Friday night show, and I can tell you 100% that I'm not perfect. This has nothing to do with Ezra Cleveland at all, but I just like this play. I came across it as I was watching the game. Look at this fake punt. Look at that. That's something the Jags would do right there. Like a direct snap to the up back right here, and then he's going to toss it to this. I mean, I like that play. All right, Kevin O'Connell, I see you. With a pulling, let's go. So, that's all I have on Ezra Cleveland tonight. That's a preview. Again, I only watched 1 game. So, I'm going to watch the rest of this season, maybe a little bit of last season, and I'm going to get the rest of it going there. Let me get caught up on some of these comments here. And I am way behind. Volkfang, channel member, says, woo, big win, especially for us Jags fans in Pittsburgh. I agree. Ezra Cleveland is good. He's not a powerhouse guy, not really a technical guy, but that's what we need. I peeped film already. I think he's not a rental, and we got a steal. 100 miles per hour, I think you're right, especially when you think about the fact that they cut Ben Bartch. And Ben Bartch was the starter at the beginning of the season. So, I think you're right. That dude Evan says Andrew Wingard might be the sexiest man in Jacksonville. I have a folder. I don't know if y'all can see this, because I don't know if y'all can see this, what I have here. But I have a folder called Dewey. So let that be a preview. For what's coming, Jags fans. Let that be a preview. Mark Moon says, I don't get the Bigsby hate. He hasn't even had a chance, and he looks decent. The only hate I have, Mark, on Bigsby is that he's fumbling the ball a lot, man. I mean, even last game he had a fumble. Like, I get it. You're a rookie. You're maybe not used to the level of violence that the NFL has, I think is the appropriate word. But come on, man. Can't be fumbling the ball that much. Cass shoots. What up, Cass? Cass says, I finally made a live show. What's up, Jason? Not much, man. Been a busy couple of weeks. Actually had a decently chill day today. Got to work a little bit from home today. And that allowed me to kind of cut some film up on this Jags-Steelers game a little bit. So I cannot complain. Cannot complain at all. I hope everything's going good with you, Cass. 100 miles per hour says, he's a powerhouse. He's a powerhouse guy. I was thinking that. I'm glad you corrected yourself, because I was thinking that. Happy Halloween, says Care Bear Sheriff. Where's the porn stash? I shaved it. Yeah, I shaved it. What can I say? It was a Friday night thing. What can I say? Yeah, I hope your Halloween's going good. I had no trick-or-treaters in my neighborhood. And I live in like a neighborhood with like young families and kids. I had no trick-or-treaters till like 7:30 p.m., which is way too late for kids to be out. It's dark. I'm sorry. So the first person comes to my door. I ring the doorbell. I have the ring, and I open it. I mean, I just take a glance at it. But I'm like, whatever. I'm ready. I have my candy, right? Open the door. It's like freaking 4 15-year-olds. And I'm like, aren't y'all a little old to be doing this? Like, I was in a pretty, like, sheltered environment growing up at my house. And my parents weren't really, like, into me trick-or-treating. They would take me to these, like, church-sponsored events where they did, like, trunk-or-treat type things, which I'm fine with. So I never really got the trick-or-treating experience. But I can imagine that if I did that at 15, I would just have a little bit more pride than going door to door asking for candy. Like, I'm pretty sure I stopped eating candy at like 17. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe you guys can tell me in the chat. Am I a little off base? I mean, I think I said something to him. I'm like, I think I said, aren't you a little old to be doing this? I don't know. Luckily, I had some kids come after that, but I mean, I don't know. Shay, channel member, and one of my favorite commenters, says, I love the O-line pickup. Need the O-line beefed up. I agree. Shay, I've been harping on getting this O-line beefed up. I'm with you there. Volkfang says, I think some fluky plays where Bigsby has lost the ball have really downed his confidence. You can see it in the sounds of the game. Okay. Balky is robber with these trades. I'm guessing you were going to say Jag Gator. Unless you meant Trafex, which I don't know what that word means. Shay says, rumors Jags wouldn't give up a fourth for Uche and only wanted to give up a fifth. I'm okay. I think Ezra Cleveland is very comparable to Uche. 100 miles per hour says, Fortner is poop juice. I like that. Not that I think he's poop juice, but I just like that word. He needs to sit and just hit the weights all year. Shay says, Balky barely missed on Hunter in the offseason in the same way could have had number 1 and number 2 sack leaders. I like the way that Travon Walker is developing at the edge. And I'm only going to talk for a couple more minutes. We're not even 20 minutes in. And I want to show some Steelers film. People are going to be watching this show and being like, we haven't watched any Steelers film, and it's been 20 minutes. And I apologize. Shane P. says, I would love to see Shatley at center on short yardage situations. I like that. I just wonder, and I could be like totally, like this just popped in my head, Shane. So I'm not saying like from like, sometimes I talk as from a coaching position. I'm not, but I do wonder, like, would that, are you risking a fumbled like snap between Shatley and Trevor if you just bring him in like every once in a while? Like, I don't know. Like maybe they're professionals and it's not a problem, but maybe that's an issue to be like switching them out. Robert says, Ezra won the lottery because we're going to the Super Bowl. I love that. Yeah, he's a big boy. What do we do with Walker Little? Swing tackle. I mean, like I said, someone's going to get dinged up, Paolo. Even if it's only for a game, you know that it's going to happen. It's just the nature of the game. And to have people like Shatley and Walker Little coming off of the bench, that's how you win a Super Bowl. Like, you don't win a Super Bowl with Blake Hance and Cole Van Lanen coming off the bench. Like, I'm sorry. I think those guys are probably amazing athletes, but you win the Super Bowl with depth. Guy says, am I late to get your take on Esta? Who's Esta? I need to know who Esta is, Guy. Chandler Berger, channel member, says, could this be a move to bring Nasty to the line if we let Cam walk? Listen, I've done a 180 on Cam. I think there was a noticeable improvement in this offensive line when Cam Robinson came back. And I think he brought some of that nastiness. I am willing to almost die on the hill that Cam Robinson was one of the reasons why this team has kind of turned it around. Don't have a lot of evidence. Don't have a lot of proof. Don't know if that would hold up in court. But starting to think it. All right, I'm going to get to DJM. Jason, I got to get to you. Fat Boy Shot. Dewey for mayor. Okay, I have to get to some of these clips just because, like I said, people watch this show for the film breakdown, and it's 22 minutes, and I've only shown Ezra Cleveland from one game. So let me get to some of these clips. If it was a good comment, just type it again. I really do want to get to all your comments, I promise. Let's start with Dewey. Mike, why not? All right. So this play was impressive from Dewey, and it's the interception. I'll spoiler. But not even my favorite play from Dewey. But we will show it here. How about having a non-drop off from Cisco to Dewey? Like, I love it. Like, he's actually playing really well. I mean, and listen, I love the interception. All right, who wouldn't love the interception? And he's called down. Like, he's called down, but the refs call him down, like, right here. Because the refs suck. Whatever. But look what he does after the catch. Nope. Like, I don't know, like that the two juke moves there. Like, I know, obviously I love the fact that he's a cover 2 safety. That he ends up bailing. They're playing cover 2 halves. He's gonna lurk to the middle of the field, locate the ball, get the interception, bad throw, good, all that. Skit. I don't know, man. I like that. I like that from Dewey. Like, I do. Here's my favorite play, though. Here's my favorite play from Dewey, and here you're gonna see him to the field side. So obviously they're on the defense's right hash. So they had Dewey like playing the true free safety. So he had most of it here, and the Jags played a lot of cover 2. It was funny. Like, Mike Caldwell actually had a different defensive game plan this game than he's had in the past. You guys know me. I love defense. I love looking at the coverages. We played more cover 2 this game than I've seen in a long time. I don't know if it's because of the rain or they didn't think Kenny Pickett was any good, which turned out to be like true. But a lot of cover 2. You remember the first play of the game when George Pickens dropped that post route in the middle of the field. Like, that was a perfectly called post route into the middle of a cover 2 that Pickens should have caught, and he dropped. So a lot of cover 2 this game, but watch Dewey here. I mean, this is more impressive to me than the interception, right? He's playing this free safety, middle of the field. Backpedal is at the snap. I mean, take a look at where he's at right here, okay? So he is on the, 45. He's on the 6, 7, the 48-yard line. Okay, he's on the 48-yard line. All right, now take a look at where the ball goes right here. I don't know if you caught that. Watch the backfield. They run a reverse. Okay, so he's on the 48-yard line. 48-yard line. The ball is on the 23-yard line. I'm no math major, but this seems like a 25-yard difference. Okay, so 25-yard difference. And I don't know if you've ever I know everyone in the chat is in the prime of their life. I don't know if you've ever sprinted 25 yards in your life. It's further than you think. And then let's add on top of that, you have to like break down and make a tackle. Watch what Dewey does right here. Like, that is more impressive to me than the interception, because, like, this play could have gone for a lot of yards. Now, I do have to give an honorable mention to Aluakon because initially I wanted to give Aluakon all the credit right here. Aluakon's going to flow a little bit to the right, takes a great angle back to the left. Watch, I mean, Aluakon's a beast. Take a look here at Aluakon as well. I mean, that's great job by both of them. But give credit to Dewey there. I mean, that's an open field tackle coming downhill, a cut tackle, and then he flexes on him. I love it. I absolutely love it. Raw Jeebs says 6-2, feeling so damn good. G Grant says Jags Twitter keeps referring to Walker as our best offensive lineman, and the Cam disrespect is unreal with this fan base. So, G. Grant, I will, I guess, try to defend them. He wasn't looking good at the end of last year before he got hurt, right? So he really wasn't looking that good last year. He got hurt. the PEDs, like things were starting to snowball against him. So I get it. You know how fans are, Grant. Like you know. But the only way to combat that, if you're Cam Robinson, is to come out and just play outstanding, which he's done. And I was one of those people who was looking for the earliest possible way to get out of the Cam Robinson contract. I'll be completely honest with you. Last year and even this year. But the game he came back, week 5, the game he came back, there was a noticeable difference in the intensity of the offensive line, and I immediately started backtracking. And I took admission and ownership of that. I'm wrong a lot, right? I was right about the trading for an offensive lineman. But when you do 2 hours of live shows a week for 5-6 years, you're going to be right every once in a while. I think the saying goes, even a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while. So I'll take ownership on the fact that I was wrong about Cam Robinson. And if Cam Robinson continues to play the way he's playing right now, that signing of him at left tackle may be one of the biggest bargain signings when we see the salary cap get expanded the next couple of years. Rajib says Dewey showed up to play. Grant goes on to say about Cam Robinson, you can't let him go the same way you let Allen go. The unit gets significantly worse. Nasir Premier, what up, Nasir? Says, them Wyoming boys know how to get coached properly. Oh. You talking about your boy Chad Muma? Because he hasn't seen the field very much. Volkfang says Brett Coleman said something like 46% cover 2 just because they knew nothing the Steelers could do to threaten it. Like, I respect Mike Caldwell sticking with the cover 2 after that first play of the game when they dropped that post route that should have gone for 30. Rajiv says, I've sprinted 25 total yards in my life. Nasir Premier says, I had to sprint 100 yards for my Marine Corps PT test. Well, Nasir, you've obviously done way more athletic training than any of us if you were in the Marines. Manic Slap says, got the Trevor pick. Looks like we ran 2 routes with 1 check down. I probably do. I might not. Let me see. No, I didn't. I didn't clip that. I left it out. Happy Halloween, United, says Balefire. Really hope the guys gave the little gold towels they picked up and used back to the fans. They apparently really need them for all those tears this week. I'm just going to show one play real quick. I'm going to give it no context, and I'm going to move on. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. I'm just going to play it. If you want to infer why I showed it, that's up to you. Maybe I'll play it one more time. Again, not going to break it down. Up to you. Infer it any way you want. I'm going to move on quickly from it. That's it. That's it. Now I can delete that play, and we can move on. All right. Last Dewey play I have is the Dewey Wingard pass breakup. Insanely well-timed pass breakup. Like, you don't see this very often from, like, all pro safeties. And I'm not saying that as a hyperbole. Like, watch this play here. Watch him again. A lot of cover 2. Watch what he does here. I think, is it a post route? I think it's a post route. Oh, just a dig. Just a dig. All right, look at this. Look at the timing on this pass breakup. That's a good freaking pass breakup. He freaking missiles. I love the fact that we started this film breakdown with Dewey Wingard. Let's stick with the defense, all right? One guy who I've just been, like, hyping up is freaking Fatu Kasi. I think he's so underrated, man. Look at Fatu Kasi here, man. He's just so underrated. Like, well, and I was kind of talking about this when we were talking about how everybody wanted to sign a pass rusher like Chase Young, and I get it, and they wanted to move Trevon Walker, hand in the dirt. I don't think the Jags did it because I think the Jags like what they have. Even Blackman right here. Like, I know what you're thinking. Like, Blackman, but he's been playing well. And, you got a guy like Fatu Kasi right here. And watch Fatu Kasi right here. I mean, this is, textbook interior defensive tackle play right here. Okay, so the call from the D-line is for him to get into this A-gap. So he has to what's called cross the face of this guard. Okay, now, this isn't great blocking by this guard, but look at how fast he gets into this gap. Now, once he's in the gap, okay, he can't just fly upfield. Because if he just flies upfield, then he's leaving the whole gap open for the run. So not only does he have to cross the face of the guard, he has to literally get into this gap right here, keep his outside shoulder free so he can make a play and disengage from the block and make a tackle. If he keeps his outside shoulder free, then the guard either has to hold him or he gets the tackle. So watch him get into this gap, sit there, hold the A gap, and then make a tackle. I mean, I'm telling you, boys, that is textbook right there. Here's another one. Okay, so here we're going to see him shaded on the nose right here. Okay, so he's not on where he was last time. He's shaded on the nose. So he's playing more of a traditional defensive tackle or nose tackle role. And again, you don't see this type of versatility a lot from players, but he's able to do it, okay? So watch him here. And this is kind of more like Roy Robertson Harris also is a big part of this as well. So they kind of worked in tandem here. But watch how they both make a play on this run. And the Steelers just had no shot at running the ball. Even Josh Allen gets involved, but they just have no shot. I mean, again, some people will say sometimes in the comments after the fact, like, well, yeah, you can pick any one play and find a good snap or a good rep. But the reason why I clipped this play was because I saw this type of thing out of Fatu Kasi and Roy Robertson Harrison over and over again. Like I'm telling you, they did this a lot in the game, and they stopped the run. And teams are unable to run the ball inside the tackles against us. You even saw the Steelers get kind of cute with the reverse and the swings and the pitches because they have to try to get the ball to the outside because our interior defensive line is just absolutely stuffing the run. And yeah, Fatu Kasi and Aluakon and Lloyd and Jenkins rolling down into the box is helping. But that's why when everyone was like, move Trevon Walker inside, I was like, I don't know, man. I like what we're getting out of our interior defensive linemen. I really do. I'm backed up. I'm sorry, guys. Maniac Slap says, got the Trevor. No, I don't have the pick. Sorry. I want to give him a little bit of a break. Donald Johnson says, Cam was the only lineman to make OT to the touchdown on the ETN touchdown. Says a lot to me. 50-yard touchdown he ran down to celebrate. So Donald Johnson saying the fact that Cam Robinson was in the end zone after that run. G. Grant says, Cam has that edge to him that even Trevor Lawrence seems to lack. He's a serviceable left tackle and a veteran. Those don't grow on trees. C. Breacher says, what up, United? C. Breacher, I've had more people ask me about that Instagram that Instagram page you've made because it's like my picture and my name. And so like everyone's like, oh, did you create a new Instagram? And I was like, nope, didn't create a new Instagram. That's this guy named C. Breacher who's a copper in Rainbow Six. Maniac says Kalavon, sack guru. A little backed up there. 100 miles per hour. He's got a free rush to the quarterback and no sack, only the guru. I'm fine with our D-line, says Rod Jeeves. Nasir says best run defense in the NFL. 100% gap assignments have been elite. Grant says Smoot was really starting to get home consistently before the Achilles. He will be significant down the stretch. I hope so. 100 says, remember what I said about Trayvon? It applies to all of them. All they got to do is hit the outside shoulder with speed, convert speed to power, combat the hands, disengage, and get the sack. Yes, 100 miles per hour. That's the goal for every defensive lineman that's ever played football. Lloyd has stepped up his game a lot this year, was unplayable last year. Now he's one of the best that we got. And Maniac confirms that and says, yeah, Lloyd's been beasting. He has been playing well. And that's the step we were all hoping he was going to make from year one to year two. It kind of seemed like he hit that rookie wall last year. Seabreacher says, my bad, I'll change it. They could just read the bio, but whatever. Seabreacher, I don't care. You can leave it. I don't care at all. Leave it up. Yeah, this is what, if you guys haven't learned this by now, I have no pride. It helps me sometimes, it hurts me other times. CJ DSO says, Jags United. I was at that game. It was a wet one, but it was an amazing time. Oh, man. I can imagine that was probably a great game to be at. Just like the salty tears were probably delicious. Absolutely delicious. Jaguars says, can you make a song about the Jaguars? I could. Let me think about that, Jagator. Let me think about that. Sean R., I've been waiting for you to do this. Talk about Let's Go Jaguars. All right. Thank you. All right, let's get more filming then. All right, we're sticking with the defense. Let's go with we'll stick with the Roy Robertson Harris just because he's, we're talking about the interior defensive line. We'll keep the theme going. Again, Roy Robertson Harris, another guy that I think has been playing really well. Now, I don't know if you want to call this the 6-eye technique or, because he's on the inside shoulder of the tackle. That's fine. But you're going to see him here. The Steelers are going to go in empty set motion, and he's just going to throw this. Watch him here. Watch his right hand here. And again, this is like attacking the inside shoulder, right? Like we talked about. Watch this here. Just throws him. Just absolutely throws him. And it causes him to throw it early and for a gain of 0. And, this is what I'm saying. A lot of people were like, well, move Trevon and put Roy Robertson Harrison off the bench. But, I don't think Trevon's doing this. Because Roy Robertson Harris is a monster. And, that's the little things that, it looks like his first read was actually middle of the field if you watch his head here. He's trying to read something middle of the field, and he snaps pretty instantly to that swing pass. He's off balance when he throws. Tackle for 0. Tackle for 0. Let's move on to a little bit of Trevon Walker here. This is Trevon Walker's sack. I can't remember. I think this tight end goes in motion, and then he ends up bumping out to more of a 9 technique. I'm not sure. I think that happens on one of these plays. Oh, yeah. Okay, that's exactly what happens. Okay, so the tight end goes in motion. Walker moves out to this 9 tech. The Steelers love this 9 tech. This is where TJ Watt plays exclusively. So if you wanted to know, exclusively TJ Watt lines up just like this. For those of you that are comparing, I guess is a better word. I love this move here. It ends up being he uses speed, but it ends up being a bull rush, and that's just a grown man pushing another grown man around. Again, not much to break down there. That's just power. That's just this is why you draft a guy number 1 overall. This is why right here. And I know he's flashed to this, and I know we all know this, but it's good to see it happen, right? And Josh Allen does a good job collapsing from the opposite side, but this is why you get a guy to do this. With the running start he has, no shot. Absolutely no shot. Here's another one where he's actually held. So, again, you're going to see him out here in the 9 technique. And, again, I don't know if they called it or not, but watch how disruptive he is on this play. Lines him out here wide. Look at the tackle. He's so worried. Gets held, and I think they throw the flag. Should have been a pick. Come on, Devin Lloyd. But, nice job. Nice job there. Josh Allen with a sack here. You're going to see him out here. This is probably a 7 tech right here. Steelers in 11 personnel. Good move to the inside. And again, you also see a collapse there from Roy Robertson Harris. Everyone kind of stunts to the defense's left. I don't know, man. You're probably going to have to pay this guy now. Mitch Trubisky, poor guy. Poor guy, Mitch Trubisky. Steelers fans are bitter, says CJ. Well, they lost. Lloyd only linebacker Bulky hit on out of 75 of them. That's not true. He signed a Luakon. Luakon is really, really good. So I know you're talking about drafted players, but a Luakon is a very good player. G. Grant says, remember when this fan base was low on Campbell? When Trayvon starts to put it together, crying about Uchi will seem silly. Disappointed we didn't get Hunter, but happy no one else got him. Okay, I like that, Shane. I like that. Kenny pick 6. Didn't move me, to be honest. Steelers fan hype him too much. I agree. Should we be worried about Will Levis? No. From what Vrabel said today, if Tannehill is healthy, he's going to start. Trayvon hit. Oh, my gosh. Hunter Ross Prower, I can't do this anymore. Sharney, what up, Sharney? Sharney says, I'm ready for your film review of Cleveland. I need to see him be good. I don't watch the Vikings. So, Sharney, if you go back and watch the first 10 minutes, I showed 4 or 5 plays from him in the Chiefs game. I watched him against the Chiefs. It's the only game I've watched. I'll be completely honest. In that game, he looked pretty good. I'll say it again just because people do join the live shows late. The things I look for in an offensive lineman is nastiness, strength/power, good footwork, and then the ability to get to the second level or to block in space on screens and things like that. So seems to do those 4 things pretty well. Definitely going to be a starter if the coaches think he can kind of step in and be cohesive with everyone else, which I think he will be. Great trade, especially for a 6th-round pick, in my opinion. I'm wrong sometimes, but Nasir says Brock Purdy is about to be in trouble in a couple of weeks. What are y'all doing on the bye week? Just wondering. I've been able to watch NFL Red Zone a lot of times this year. The 2 London games that were early in the morning, the Thursday night game. So I've gotten to watch NFL Red Zone 3 times. This is going to be the 4th time I get to watch NFL. I love watching NFL Red Zone. It makes Sundays very enjoyable, being able to just sit back and just carousel through all the different NFL games. I really enjoy it. Me and some buddies talked about, we have friends that own a Philadelphia Eagles bar here in Jacksonville. We had some conversations about going because the Eagles are playing the Cowboys. So we had some conversations about going and watching that game up at the Eagles bar. They accept us. They know we're Jags fans, but, our buddy owns it, so we're honorary fans there. It's a good time. Grant says, bro, is an insane stunt plus a counter to get the sack. That's elite pass rushing. Yes, it is, G. Grant. DSO says, I think it's safe to say the defense plays on another level when Wingard is on the field. There's 4 lemons in this drink, boys, if you know what that means. Kyo King says Pickens was asked about Wingard and Jenkins post-game, and he learned to shut his mouth this time. I love the fact that Buster Brown and Andrew Wingard are out there holding the Steelers' offense to 10 points. Now, did Kenny Pickett miss a wide-open throw in the red zone on 3rd down that should have been a touchdown? Yes, he did. Did Pickens drop a ball on the first drive of the game that should have been a gain of 40? Yes, he did. Nonetheless, Steelers scored 10 points. Jaguars scored 20. Sea Breacher says some great games this week. My ADHD loves. Sea Breacher, is that why we get along? Sea Breacher? Is it that, or is it because I carry you in Rainbow Six? 100 miles per hour. I live in Dallas. I thought about going out and watching that too. Yeah. So, I can imagine living in Dallas is probably pretty interesting. 2 things I liked. The Jags on Sunday and this stream from GoPro Connor, who brings up a great point. If you're here in the chat and you haven't liked the stream yet, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. Go ahead and hit it. It costs you nothing besides a little bit of a wrist movement. and hit that thumbs up button. I love it. Hunter Ross says we need to give Buster his flowers. Yeah, I mean, he's definitely made a huge jump this year. Think about a guy who was drafted a round earlier, Greg Jr., who doesn't even see the field. Sharney says, I'm always happy when pro hogs do well. Happy with Buster, but I knew he was a good player. Just needed experience. So how do you feel about Matt Jones, Jaguars standout first-round wide receiver? Former quarterback turned wide receiver. Cam Boisvert, what up, Cam, who's also a channel member, says, just made it in. I was at Pittsburgh, and the Steelers fans actually all acted like children, a super aggressive fan base. Doesn't surprise me because the whole kind of state of Philadelphia seems to have like childish fans in all sports. And I think they embrace that role. I'm trying to think of the role that Jaguar fans embrace. I don't know if I can put my thumb on it or finger on it, but Philadelphia fans definitely embrace that like childish type fan base. Shane says ROH not getting benched for Walker either. Rodney Harrison, yeah. Sean R says, I'm going to watch the other AFC South teams in hopes that they lose so the Jaguars can be alone at the top of the AFC South. Yeah, I think you're right. Sharney says, should have stayed at quarterback. Poor Matt Jones. All right, I think that's all the defensive plays. Golly, I have a bunch of I'm not going to be able to get to all these plays, boys. I always do this. I always clip so many plays, and I can never get to them all. Let's move over to the offense. I guess I don't have that many offensive plays. I'll just go in order because I don't really know what these are. All right, here's a Christian Kirk making a great sideline catch. I always like to look at the Jaguars formation because, again, even the whole game plan was different this week. The Jags' offensive game plan was, because if you watched the last couple shows, you noticed that we pointed out the Jags did a lot of misdirection, a lot of like play action, reverses, sweeps, counters, getting to the edge. And the edge just means like kind of outside the tackles here. And we talked about on the show that the Jags were going to probably be able to run up the middle. And this is late in the game. And so the Steelers kind of have 5 on the line here. But watch what Kirk's able to do here. And I believe this is Christian Kirk right here. It's either a corner or an out. Yeah, it's an out. It's a great throw, great toe touch. I mean, Christian Kirk has been really good. I mean, the thing is I was just looking at like the best, like someone on Twitter put out this like the best duos in football, and the Jaguars were like evidently not on the list, and it's because Trevor can kind of go to anybody he wants. I mean, he can go to ETN, he can go to Kirk, he can go to Ingram, he can go to Ridley. Like he's got a lot of different options, and it makes it hard for a defense to game plan. I told you guys in the last show, I'm always thinking defense. And if I'm a defensive player, who am I going to try to stop? Who am I going to double team? Who am I going to game plan against? You can't do that against the Jags because they just can go any direction they want. Boisvert says, it doesn't help that that I scream the whole time in regards to the Steelers fans being aggressive. Cam, it probably doesn't. It probably doesn't. Shane says, glad to have Hamilton back. He's a beast too. I think he only played like 14 snaps, but hopefully after the bye, he'll be kind of ready to go. B. Holly says, I'm late, but I'm here. That's all that matters. Thank you, B. Holly. Listen, I appreciate you being here. Go back and watch the VOD. Actually, after this, I'm going to jump on to Twitch. So I don't know if you guys are into that, but me and my buddy Tyler are going to be getting a little disruptive, like Trevon Walker on there. Robert Harrington says, Steeler fans are usually pretty cool in my experience. It's been a rough year for them. Okay, that's fair. All right, here's Lawrence to Christian Kirk again, because why not? I love the late motion to put Kirk in. So this is before the touchdown pass. So, like, remember the touchdown pass, which I'll show in a second when ETN runs the vertical? Like, they line him up wide all the time, and then they motion him into this running back spot. So on that touchdown pass, like, I would imagine that the defense was like, okay, they're probably going to motion him or not use him, right? So they motion him back in space here. I love this route and catch by Kirk. Great release. It's like super patient. Trevor hangs in there. I mean, look at this. So you're going to see this little trips bunch here. So they're in a 10 gun meaning 1 running back, 0 tight ends. And again, I know Evan Ingram's a tight end, but he's not lined up as a traditional tight end here. And so we're going to see this little like delayed release out and like kind of to the like a little delayed fade here. And Trevor like knows if he hangs in for like half a second more, he'll be open. Because look, you have 1, 2, 3, and then 2 defenders. I mean, this is pretty impressive by Trevor to read that this vertical route's going to be open. He sees this Pittsburgh defender standing flat-footed, and he knows that, like, all right, if I can hang in there, then he's going to be wide open. Kind of does the same thing with ETN. Hangs in there, even gets held a little bit, and then throws a great throw. We watch it from the reverse angle here. I mean, this is impressive by Trevor. Watch this. You're going to see him hang in there. Like, he knows he's about to get hit. Like, he's getting hit as the ball's still in his hand, and he still makes a great throw. This is one of my favorite plays from the whole game right here. I absolutely love this because this is the toughness of Trevor. Getting hit, knows he's going to take a shot, takes one for the team. Absolutely love that play. Here's Trevor to Calvin Ridley. I love when they do this little pre-snap motion and put Calvin Ridley out. They did this a couple times. One time they missed Calvin Ridley on the throw, but I love how they like kind of allow him to get moving pre-snap the way that Tyreek Hill does. I mean, this is a cover. This is a post on a cover 2. Kind of dangerous here because you're throwing it right into a safety, but the modern NFL, you can't hit these guys. And I think Trevor takes advantage of that. Great job. I think I have the reverse angle here because I love these reverse angles because it shows how tight the windows are that Trevor throws into. Great protection. I mean, this kind of reminds me of the interception when he threw it into triple coverage. But when you trust a guy, you trust a guy. I mean, think about the guys throughout history, the wide receivers throughout history that quarterbacks just threw the ball up to. Calvin Johnson, Terrell Owens, Randy Moss, Jerry Rice. I know I just mentioned like 5 of the best receivers of all time. But when you trust a guy, you trust a guy. So when everyone's like, what a terrible throw by Trevor, I think he just thought that if I throw it up to Ridley, chances are he's going to come down with it. In no way am I saying was that a good throw. Terrible throw. But I think Trevor didn't see one of the defenders because I don't think he would have thrown into triple coverage. But he obviously doesn't care about throwing into double coverage at all. I like this play because this kind of shows the offensive line does a really good job pass blocking. This is another throw to Ridley here. Tim Jones on this play. I mean, look at the time he has in the pocket. Watch this. I mean, they're obviously showing run. They're in the ace formation. They have 2 tight ends. I mean, this is Tim Jones. He's not a tight end, but he's big. So you have 2 guys on the formation here. You have an ace. I mean, this is run all the way if you're a Steelers fan. Steelers defense. Play action. Freezes all the linebackers. I mean, look at this. Look at that. This is what happens when you can run the ball. Let's count the amount of Steelers that are just playing the run here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You have 8 Steelers completely playing the run right here. You have a cover 1 type situation. You have a man down here. He's manned up with Tim Jones right here. Then your nickel corner is manned up with Ridley, who has absolutely no shot on this route. You got it. If you're going to put just 2 guys in route, though, like the Jags are, this is what we would call max protects, right? If you're going to put only 2 guys in motion, you got to be able to protect. And they did. So you got to give credit to the offensive line. Give credit where credit's due. Good release by Calvin. Good throw. I think do we get the penalty there? No, we should have. So. Mark Moon says Campbell and Jones back against the 49ers. Ready for a 49ers, 4-game lose streak for the Niners. Yeah, but they're also going to have Chase Young. So that's going to suck. C. Breacher says, do you feel like we forced the ball to Ridley too much? No. I think Ridley is a guy you force the ball to. I mean, it looks bad when you have the options we have. When you have ETN and you have Evan Ingram, who I think is not talked about nearly enough. When you have Christian Kirk. It looks bad when you make a bad force to Ridley, but I think Ridley is just that good. Shane says, yeah, we need to use Tim Jones more than Ridley, not trying to give Atlanta extra picks. Tim Jones is a really good blocker. I didn't clip a play. Maybe I did. There's a play where Tim Jones has a great seal block for ETN run. I haven't even gotten to the ETN folder. I have a whole ETN folder. All right. RM Skip, channel member. What up, United? We are here. NFL has to recognize in the defense, we hope, screw those little yellow towels. I love it. 49ers still have Chase Young for a third. Scary. We don't feed Ridley enough. There's a lot of people who think Zay might not be back after the bye. Oh, I didn't know that. I'm hoping he is. All right. I got to fly through these plays, boys. We're 58 minutes in, and I still have I still have 7 plays to show. So let's fly through them, boys. Y'all ready? All right. This is my Travis Etienne folder. Easy inside run. I talked about how the Jags were going to be able to run the ball on the inside. If you guys that watched my show last week, I said that we're going to be able to do it because of the way that the Steelers run their defensive front. We see it right here. Look at their defensive front. They have 3 guys to the field and 1 guy out here in the 9 tech. Like, look at this. This is just easy pickings. And I knew that the Jags were going to be able to do this. And here you're going to see it's blocked up well. They did this all game. ETN had a great game because they just did this all game. You're going to see them run inside zone here again. The Steelers are in a more traditional defensive front, but still, I mean, if you take a look at how they're aligned, they love lining up in the wide 9s, which is a wide 9 here, a wide 9. Look how far Watt's out here, dude. This is so far. So essentially, you just have to block 1, 2, 3 guys, and you're going to gain a bunch of yards. Like we talked about this in the preview show, and it's exactly what happened. You're going to see ETN. They even bring a blitzer late. It doesn't matter. Just doesn't matter. Like that defensive front is not going to bode well against what we do. We ran it a bunch, so late in the game, we're going to run a counter. A counter is where you basically drop everyone down this way, and then you run the opposite direction. The Jags sell out so much, they even have 3 tight ends set here. So they're in 13 ace personnel, 3 tight ends. This is why you drafted Brenton Strange right here, so you could do this, right? So they have everyone here, and everything's going there. Cross block. Look at Brenton Strange cross block right here. Look at this. Bam! That's why you bring him in, boys. All of you that didn't want him, that's why you do it. That's why you do it. And you get upfield. ETN does the – I mean, that's a great job by ETN. Here's the touchdown. Again, I think the Steelers just got lazy because they had a bunch of this pre-snap motion happening, and they thought that nothing was going to happen. Great throw by Trevor. That's too easy. That's too easy. It was a touchdown, so I'll show it one more time. But basically what happened was the Jags run this like Calvin Ridley out so much that this corner just sat on it. And, again, most snaps he's motioning back into this running back position. Great job by Doug Peterson, and really a better job by Trevor Lawrence, because when he sees this corner sitting on this Ridley out and he sees him sitting on this curl flat, then this is just going to be open if you make the right throw, especially if he doesn't get over. So you're going to see here, takes the snap, freezes the safety. I mean, look at this. When Trevor throws, look at the bite. You have 2 biting here. He's biting here. He's biting here. And this is just great job by Trevor. Great job by Trevor. And Tutty. All right, here I love this play because ETN makes a great play. This play almost doesn't work out. And to be fair, they had a screen later in the game that like Trevor overthrew that ETN would have gone for like 30 yards on. So their screen game was just on point. Bobbles it, but makes the catch, gets upfield. ETN just had a great game. All right, last folder, my Evan Ingram folder. Just 2 plays. I love this little whip route here. I believe he's here. In and then out. Again, this whip route is typically ran like by people like Calvin Ridley. And to see a tight end run it, like, that's beautiful, man. Like, to see a tight end run a whip route and just be open, I love him. I love him. Here you're going to see him on the long pass. He's in pre-snap motion. He's going to line up here. I think he ends up in the middle of the field. I can't really remember. Yeah, a little more of a dig, though. Look at this. Look at this running. Now, this is late in the game, so I'll be completely transparent. This was like one of the Jaguars' last drives. So this initial Steelers defender tries to knock the ball out. That's like a Hail Mary type play. But just the field awareness. Like, that's a tight end, boys. That's not a tight, that's a wide receiver. Like, that's a wide receiver. Like, I hate calling him a tight end. I love calling him a tight end in the aspect that he is one of the best tight ends in the league. But I hate calling him a tight end in the fact where he gets like franchise tagged that he makes way less money. That's the problem. That's the problem. There's a lot of people who think, okay, Zay Jones, we need Zay back. 24-hour stream, let's go. No, 100 miles per hour. It is not a 24-hour stream. Actually, I think we're done with the stream now. So I like to do an hour. An hour is good. An hour is good for me. It's good for you guys. I like it. You can go back and watch the VOD. I appreciate everybody being here. We have a bunch of channel members. And again, thank you, channel members. I appreciate y'all being here. 100 miles per hour, C Breacher, Cam Boysvert, RM Skip. We had Volkfang in here earlier. We had Sharney in here. We had a bunch of them. So I appreciate it. You guys know it means a lot to me to have the channel members in here. 100 miles per hour. Can't leave you out. Everyone else that was in here, BT, Shay, thank you guys. Everyone else that was in here, I appreciate y'all being in here. Make sure you're subscribed. Be looking for I'm going to aim in for like Friday. Sometimes on bye weeks, I get a little lazy. So I may do a show on Saturday just because like there's no time sensitivity for the show, because I try to get the shows out on Friday so that people have like a day and a half to watch them before the Jags game on Sunday. But since there's no Jags game on Sunday, I may get lazy. I may even try to bring on a guest on the show on Saturday. So, but be looking for my official breakdown. So I hope so. Hopefully you got a little bit of it here at the beginning. I appreciate you guys being here. I'm going to take like a 5-minute break, refill my drinks here. Malik Washington says, why'd you cut the Anchorman mustache? Sean R says, another great show. Thanks for doing what you do. Thank you, Sean. Appreciate it. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. It means a lot to me that y'all are here. I love all you guys. Seriously, from the bottom of my heart. I'll see you guys at the end of this week. Make sure you have notifications on. Until then, as always, go Jags.